we have the pie chart here. What's in the credit score? So basically, the idea of a credit score or your credit report is it's the representation of your trustworthiness. Yeah, they could say it's this unbiased look. I don't know if it's completely that. I think people are more complex than a credit score. It's definitely what people look at when you are looking for many things, not just when you want to borrow money, but a lot of times people can look at your credit score. So who can look at your credit score?
Employer.
Your employer. That's right.
Unfortunately.
A bank. Anyone who's looking to take, a bank. Who else?
Anyone selling you anything?
What about
car dealerships? Car dealerships.
Yeah, car dealership. Right? So anyone who's going to extend you money, any sort of creditor, but also.
What about attorneys?
No.
They shouldn't have to pull it.
No.
But can't you pull almost anybody's credit report?
You need their social security number.
Yeah.
Real estate.
So if you have their social security number, I guess you can pull their report. I don't think an attorney can, and maybe if you're going to apply for bankruptcy, I'm not too sure. I don't think attorneys can look at your.
Unless you're applying for bankruptcy.
Maybe unless, but generally, just going to like get some legal representation, they should not be pulling your credit report.
Because they're not extending you.
Because they have no reason to look at your. It does not benefit them to look at your credit report.
People renting to real estate agents.
So yeah, wherever you live, if you're going to buy a home or a real estate agent, but even if you rent, the leasing office can pull your credit report. They're looking to see if you owe any past apartments money, right? What kind of tenant are you? That will come up in your credit report. Also utilities. You're setting up your utilities, you're moving somewhere new, and they ask you for all this information. Sometimes you have to pay a deposit. One of the reasons why you might have to pay a deposit is because they don't think your credit score is high enough. So, yeah, and that can be really expensive. Like when I moved down here, like they were like, well, you haven't had an account here in 5 years, so it's going to be a $200 deposit. I was like you get that back if you pay on time for a year. But they could also be if you have a lower credit score.
If you want a loan.
Yeah, if you want a loan, absolutely. Insurance companies can look at your credit score.
What does the insurance company look for?
Well, they're going to determine maybe your rate. You have a better credit score, you're going to get a better
Trustworthiness.
the trustworthiness again.
For insurance?
Yes.
Insurance.
Talking about like auto insurance?
Auto
Yes.
insurance, life insurance,
Yes.
insurance.
That's ridiculous.
They're looking at your credit report, guaranteed.
They have insurance scams all the time, and usually it's done by people with bad credit.
Yeah.
Also, if you're gonna, if you're purchasing auto insurance and you don't have good credit, it'll raise your rates because you may not be able to afford to keep the car in proper working order. You don't have a credit card, so your brakes, you may tend to drive with your brakes in need of repair a little longer than someone with good credit.
Trustworthiness, how well do you take care of your car, your life, right? Your finances, right? They kind of connect all these things together. So, also, your cell phone company will look at your credit report.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So these are just people who are lending you money, like banks. These are like your employers. Again, that's kind of scary. That trustworthiness. How do you take care of your finances? And that would just be awful to be up against a job. You have same requirements, same
Yes, it would be.
things of someone else, but they have a better credit score. You hope it doesn't matter that much. And I'm not sure. I'm not. I've never hired anyone.
Can't earn money to pay your debts
Yeah.
because your employer pulled your credit score.
And oftentimes it goes like with promotions and stuff like that too, if you
Yeah.
want management type positions or whatever.
So your credit report, it's very important. Of course, it's a game. It's a credit game.
Yeah.
There are rules. There are ways to play the game, and that's what we're kind of gonna hope to share with you a little bit. How you can kind of get around these, not get around, but learn the rules so that you can improve your credit score and not have to. So when people do pull your credit report, you know what's exactly there and exactly what's making up your score. So the type of accounts that are on your credit report are a mortgage, revolving. Revolving always means credit card. Installment, These are your student loans, car loans, anything you're paying the same amount each month. An open credit, which means the full amount is due at a set date. A line of credit, like at a store. And also a collection account. These are the different types of accounts that will show up on your credit report. Okay, so they're categorized. So here's a little pie graph here, and what's in a credit score. So the biggest chunk you see, 35%, is your payment history. This is huge. It's bigger than any of the other parts of your credit score. Paying on time is the easiest and fastest way to improve your credit score. On-time payments. You don't have to pay all your debts off. I mean, obviously you don't want to have a lot of debt, but if you're making your on-time payments, it's the best way to have a good credit score. 30% is your debt. How much do you owe? It's 30%. In here exactly, we're talking about you want to keep that available credit. You don't want to max things out. 60% available credit, so it's kind of the goal.
60% available?
Available credit, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Length of credit history is 15%, so they're looking here for your oldest accounts. So if you got an old credit card that's been in good standing for a long time, you don't really want to close that one. How the length of your history, it does matter. It's just time. So the more credit you have, the longer you've had it, and to become an established line of credit, that's good for your credit. So a line of credit becomes established after 1 year. New credit is 10%, and types of credit is 10%. So with types of credit, they want to see here, they're looking for a variety of credit. A car loan, a credit card, a student loan, say. Just in a variety. Someone that just has all credit cards, or just has one credit card. They want to see a little bit of variety. They like that. And so that's good. Also, so here we have credit scores range from 300 to 850. What do you guys think is a good credit score?
640.
680.
700.
Anyone else?
660.
For good.
You guys are good. You guys are good. So a good credit score is 680. A few years ago, like pre-recession, it was about 640. 640 is considered a good credit score. But now that it is harder to borrow, it is harder to build credit, 680 is what is considered to be good.
Wow.
Anything over 700 is great. So 700 is like really great. Anything over. You don't need to have, an 800 credit score. If you have 700.
Be nice though.
Yeah, well, it's nice, but 700 is good. Is what you need, and 700 will get you all the things you need.
You start out with when you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
What's your credit score when you're 17?
So what happens is if you don't have a lot of credit, or no credit, or you're young, it'll say, you won't have a credit score, it'll say too new to rate. So sometimes people don't have a credit score because they don't, or they had maybe one account 5 years ago, most likely they won't have a credit score. Yeah, so 680 is what we consider good. It's kind of a good goal. To kind of break down a credit score, the national average is about 700. Yeah, I thought that was high. It used to be lower. Again, I think with people being more aware of what they're spending and losing jobs, I think people have become. I think our society's changing a little bit. Being more aware of how we're spending money. It was about 700, probably a little bit lower than that. So 680 to 700, 730. It's a good credit score. 700 and above is good. You're not going to pay deposits. You're going to have good interest rates. You're going to have offers. You're going to have an ability to choose on which card you'd like to accept. You're going to have a good interest rate. So 680 is good. 650, 640 to about 660. It's not a bad credit score. You're going to run into some problems with getting approved for everything you apply for. It just depends. I've seen someone with 640 go out and get a credit, a logo credit card, no problem. Same person, another person, same credit score, completely denied. You just don't know. There's no way to predict banks. But generally, 680 is really solid. You're not going to have much. But under that, you can still do things because you're going to have more restrictions. You may get denied a bit, And the bottom is generally not 300. I've never seen 300. I don't know, have you guys ever seen 300? So like the bottom
Well, you get to see ours.
No, everyone's like, don't say that. You're gonna see my credit report. No. The bottom is basically about 550. So it's kind of a small range, right? When we're really thinking about it, it's like 550 is like low and like 700 is like good. It's like very little space in there. But about 550 it's pretty low, and you should not probably be applying for a lot of credit. I'm just working on what you have. Maybe get like a secured loan, but it's going to be the possibilities are going to be very limited at that score.
10 years ago, when I was pulling credit scores for insurance purposes, I saw a lot of less than 500, but things may have changed now.
Yeah.
But I used to see a lot of less than 500.
I've seen less than 500, but less than 500 you're still starting at the bottom still. But I've seen less than 500.
I mean,
I've
you
never
have to
seen
really
anything like
try to
300.
get that.
Huh?
I mean, you have to really try. I mean, 300 is the bottom. I mean, you could have 200, right? I mean, but you would have to actively.
Well, 300
try.
300 is the start. The starting it's like
Oh,
zero.
it's just
300
at the
zero,
bottom.
and it goes to 850.
Okay.
But basically, zero is like in the 400s.
And it would be unrateable. If it's really less than that, it'd be unrateable.
I've never seen the 300s. I've only seen like high 400s. It's like the lowest I've seen.
850?
The highest is 850.
Oh.
I've never seen 850. My brother is like really crazy about his credit. Like he has one of those monitoring systems. He pays like $15 a month, and he gets his credit score each month. And they do monitoring like for identity theft, and his score is like 800, and that's like. But he's like, completely. It's like his whole life. It's crazy.
Yes.
So,
People,
so, I mean,
people with 800 or better, it usually is.
I mean, I don't want to live like that. But some people it really makes sense. They really want to get that highest number. But
Well,
above
that's what they
700.
offer you when you get the free credit report. They say, well, just pay $29.99. Instead, you get the report to get the score. Sign up for that, what your brother did.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Which website are you talking about?
Freecreditreport.com.
Yeah.
Probably the best I did.
So freecreditreport.com is not the free credit report. It's
Right.
the annualcreditreport.com. And that's here in the book as well.
They gave me a credit report, not a score.
Yeah, but
But it's not free.
Credit card. You have to cancel it.
yeah.
No, it was a credit report. So they gave me a credit report, not a score. There was no credit card.
Oh, so you didn't put in any information.
Well,
Generally, that would you have to put in your
I think with
information.
free credit report, you usually have to.
Put in
It's
your
not
information.
personal information. But no credit card.
Well, annualcreditreport.com is the free annual credit report. Okay. So there's a lot of imitations
Yeah.
and imitators, but this is the one you should be going to. Annualcreditreport.com.
They don't give you a score. Is that the one that? Cause
So
that's
you
who I
will
went
never
to.
get you will never get your scores for free, ever.
I thought
Except
that's
if
what
you're-
they changed. I thought that was part of what they changed. Now you get the score. Okay, so I wouldn't have.
So you
done
get your
it
report,
anyway.
which is, the report is the most important part. You want to see what's on there. You want to make sure things are accurate. That's more important than your score. But most people want to see their scores.
Yeah.
They want like, that score. So you will get your scores through here.
When things are inaccurate, you can, like for instance, I remember this from our report. There's a Montgomery Ward charge from